I am not an archaeologist or a paleontologist, nor a scientist, nor a religious person. I am a truth seeker, and understanding the true identity of the Sphinx is key to unlocking man's future to what's to happen next. Size, erosion, modern, and past restoration are destroying clues to the true identity of the Sphinx for centuries. The Sphinx is the Rosetta Stone to unlocking the true history of mankind's origins. The Sphinx, older than we can imagine, millions of years old. According to Edgar Cayce, world-famous psychic, the Sphinx was built by an earlier race of humans that had a tail. They coexisted with the Atlanteans, later inherited by the Egyptians, million upon million upon million of years ago. The one thing that we all agree upon is that Khafre may have been the face and Thutmose may have stepped under and had a dream. But the dream still that stands today is a fake. Anubis, god of the dead, jackal or human form, has no association with the Sphinx. So was the Sphinx a dog or was the Sphinx a cat? You may think it is a cat by looking at the front and back, foot, and tail, the way we perceive things. Because if you look at the earlier photos, you can tell they are not restoring the Sphinx to her original form. For centuries, they've been denying her of her true identity. Erosion and restoration are hiding key clues. They are smoothing out the Sphinx. First, they grafted on the front and back paws. They are smoothing out the Sphinx, giving it the illusion of a cat. But the Sphinx is no cat. The Sphinx is no man. And the Sphinx is no myth. Here's a photo from the Smithsonian Archives National Museum. It shows the back of the Sphinx, the original way the Sphinx looked. Not smooth, but more tube, curvy, round, coiled shape, more like a snake. The snake feature is all over the Sphinx. Let's take a more closer look at the tail. New growth, age, birth button. The tail end of the Sphinx is no other than a rattle. If the Sumerian gods lived millenniums, and the Hebrew chosen ones lived millenniums, and all other gods, Roman, Egyptian, and Babylonian, lived millenniums, the age of the Sphinx, now you can count modern day academia, scholars, and skeptics, millions upon millions upon millions of years old. Millenniums. Yes, a snake. Now let's look at the neck and how modern day restoration are further damaging her image by adding to the crown, to add to the deception, and to further deceive man into believing none of this is real. Mythology, legend, all fairy tale. But I, Mr. AAM, have solved her riddle. The one feature they should have eradicated, the biggest clue that stuck out the most. What is the center feature running down the middle of the Sphinx? It's never been talked about. It's not associated with the beard. And it's not part of a man, lion, Anubis, cat. I've also compared that to a snake. And it's a perfect match for a vein. The center feature running down the center of the Sphinx is no other than a vein. I compared that feature to several snakes, and it's undeniable. The Great Sphinx of Giza true identity has been buried for too long, centuries, millions of years. How can I prove any of this? A snake that goes against all religious beliefs. No, it doesn't. The elite one knows the truth, and I can prove it. For centuries, the still, relief, or tablet has been buried in the sand for eons, longer than the Sphinx herself. These photos are from the Smithsonian Archives of 1929. And the one thing they didn't realize was technology advances. So I took the still, enhanced it, blew it up, and compared it to the still they have standing today. There's no jars, there's no Egyptians, there's definitely no Sphinx. All they saw was the history of Wajida, ruler of Upper and Lower Egypt, the cradle of civilization. Why else, after all these years of excavating, did they cover up the tablet when they first dug it out? To protect it from the elements? No, because it went against all religious beliefs, the history of the royal bloodline of Wajida. You say you never heard the story before. It's all a great internet story, right? Wrong. Wajida's presence is all over the Mesopotamian area. We just choose to ignore it or call it mythology. But how does the Sumerian gods, the Ice Age, and Wajida all tie into mankind's very existence? In my upcoming videos, I'll try to explain to you how all this ties into man's history and why it's very important for us to pay attention to what's going on around us in this world. Thank you, and may your higher power bless you, because all the truths will soon be revealed.